artist have to think bad and and be subversive. It's kind of, we want to create another kind of voices in the society. I think that's why it's useful in society. Jerk is the fourth piece we did with the American writer Dennis Cooper. We use in all his works one example of one kind of fantasy that would be the fantasy of murdering, and then work from that example to think about this difference between fantasy and reality. And what is also for me specifically interesting in this play with Jonathan Capdevielle is that at the moment where the character David Brooks is failing, we can actually also observe, and that's what probably is the most shaking for the audience, is that we have the feeling the actor is failing at the same time. That was something I was really interested in, this double failure of the character and of the performer. Jonathan and me, we are actually trained as puppeteers, and it's the first time after 9 years that we do a more obvious puppet play. But we were taught glove puppetry by 3 different masters and of glove puppetry, and one told us glove is really like you put it on the fist, so it's like, and also the way it moves, it's more like cartoonish, so it's kind of more violent and dynamic. I think this topic of what is traditional or not is very important, because I think people who would think in a very conservative way often use the term of tradition and are actually betraying the tradition. And if you really consider the original repertory of glove puppetry, it's really hardcore. It's hyper-violent, and you would kill the police, and you would kill the politicians, and you would cut the babies in 1,000 pieces or whatever. It's a really trashy form of theater in his original form. We want to talk about the fact that we all have bad thoughts, more or less. It can be a little thing like, oh, I want to kill my neighbor, and then 30 seconds after I forgot it. To I have strong violent fantasies. And I think it's really important that people can understand that if they think bad, they don't act bad, and that's a big difference. And that it's really important that we can fulfill all our fantasies as different they are, and that the society is actually organizing places where we can fulfill this fantasy, like culture or sport or whatever. So, all these spaces of organized ritual. I feel better also myself when I read books and when I see various forms of art, when I can talk about also my obscure parts, when I don't feel alone in having dark sides. And I think everybody has dark sides. For me, TV is the worst. And when I watch TV, basically I feel erased. I feel like all the depths of what I am is erased. I feel like a flat thing, and I just want to jump out of the window. That's what so I feel much more happier and fulfilled and considered as a human with all its ambiguity when I'm reading books of Georges Bataille or Rob Grillet or seeing some weird movies. It happens that people leave the audience, of course, for various reasons, actually. We had people crying, what is, I think, pretty seldom. I had it really rarely in previous shows, and for Jerk, it happens actually often. So that's pretty weird. In a theater, it's not that common. In a movie theater, people can cry more easily, but in a theater, it's a bit more surprising. And then it happened twice that people were fainting. Obviously, most of the people who leave the performance we show can be shaken because they will feel themselves involved in something that is incorrect, and they would probably did follow it further than what they thought. They would go further in it than what they wished they would have gone. So some people have no problem with it because they have this more clear relation to their own fantasy. One reason actually I went from philosophy to art is that I was very interested in working also with the emotional aspect. So yeah, I'm happy when people are shaken. I mean, that's not because because it's first reason. It's because it's what I'm looking in an artistical experience. I'm very happy when I'm shaken. I don't want to piss off the audience. Actually, I just want to give the audience what I'm actually looking for in art too. Is not something comfortable, but something that is deep and heavy, in a good way. I mean, that has the weight of human, because this light culture is just depressing.